Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 209, and today we are here with Maniac from Oxnard. What's up, brother?
You already know, homeboy, just right here, diving and dabbing, pushing and shoving, and barely surviving, homeboy.
I love it, bro. You're a professional already, dude.
Well, first off, before we start, I just want to say thank you for having us, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And let's get this done.
Yeah, thank you for your time, man. I know that time is very busy for you, and for you to make time for me today, I really appreciate it.
Well, we're just all about innovation,
Yeah, definitely, man. So let's talk about that, just seeing your channel, seeing the videos that you're putting out, the content you're putting out. If you could just give us a quick breakdown of like what you're going towards and how you even got into that, man. You got something for sure. Well,
basically, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Like, at first I thought about it, and then I was like, you know what? Like, people are gonna start being negative. I'm gonna be a target for people to talk about.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 right? But then I looked at the big picture, you know what I mean? I said, you know what? No, we don't have nobody doing that right here in Oxnard, Ventura County that I know of. Nobody's really putting content out there like that, you know what I mean? And we don't have no programs here to self-help programs, to rehabilitation programs. We don't have none of that here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I looked at it and I said, you know what? If I make it, I could make the change and I could acquire like the support from people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the objective right there.
I love it, man. Hell yeah, dude. You're so right about that. Like we were talking before, I was never really into the gang life or had any family experiences or anything like that. But being born and raised in Oxnard, of course, you're gonna see it going on with friends or at school or
Your
things
neighbor.
like that, something like that. And it's always just made me wonder, like, why is it that Oxnard is such a hub for so much gang activity?
Well, you know what? It all boils down to the low income housing that we've had we don't have it no more, but it was there for so long that pretty much it evolved into that, and then the Mexican community like is predominant Mexican right there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I mean that's what I think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. And that's kind of the same way that I look at it. Now, when you were coming up and you were going through things, did you see any light at the end of the tunnel? Any older OGs that had made a transition to the other side and wanted to help people get out of that lifestyle?
I mean, I seen like the religious people, the Christians and all that. I never really been religious. I have my own beliefs, you know what I mean? So that's to the side, but I seen them trying to do it, you know what I mean? But as far as in the gang life, I seen my homeboy Big Haps. Mm-hmm. He goes by Mr. Haps. He was also an artist. He was, from my understanding, I never really got to know him real good, but he's from the hood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like someone to look forward to, you know what I mean? Because he was out there on the streets, and now he owns a business, you know what I mean? And he's been doing good ever since. And there's people like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as like making it a movement to help people change, programs for the youth, I ain't seen nothing like that.
Yeah, you're so right about that, because even when I was growing up, I would see the religious aspect of it, like it's I forget the Victory Outreach, and while that is a great lane, you're kind of taking away from the people that don't want to go down that lifestyle.
Course,
It's so it's like either you go with the gang life or you come with religion.
You're just trying to shift their thinking, you know what I mean? And that's just like, to me, you're boxing them in, you know what I mean? Just because they need something, you know what I mean? It's like they have a program or two in the city of Oxnard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from my understanding, there's like once you get into the gang, right? There's two sides. There's the active side and there's the non-active side, which is the dropouts, you know what I mean? And you don't supposed to integrate like your belief system. If you're active, you're not gonna want to be around them, you know what I mean? But in order to get help, for people that need help, they need to go to those programs, and that's the only programs they have right now, you know what I mean? Non-actives, they're integrated, you know what I mean? And I know it's not too it's negative, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like if that's the belief system, and that's the only way you're gonna help them, like it makes no sense to me, Like they should have like separate programs for separate people,
Yeah, you know what's dope, man, is this time in with social media and all the access that we have, it's dope that you're able to just put your stories out there and tell people, you know what, this isn't about negativity. I'm not trying to glorify this. I'm trying to show you, look, I've been there too, and I'm on the other side. And if you want to come on this side, you know, that gives you a great platform, because yeah, all those other ones, it just seems like they're trying to control you in some other way, but you understand what it's like, what they were doing back then, and you see what can happen from that and how they can get out, and that's power right there.
Pretty much, you know, and I'm hoping that, you know, eventually, like with the platform that I'm trying to build right now, we're gonna find like supporters, you know, like people that would actually own businesses and start hiring maybe one person at a time. You know what I mean? And my main goal is for people that get out from prison, you know, because the first time I got out from prison was in 2006. You know what I mean? And then I was only out for like a couple weeks. You know what I mean? I went back. I did like 2 years, and then I got out when there was the depression. You know?
Oh yeah, 2008. Okay.
You know, so like I'm not gonna lie. When I first got out, I tried to get a job, all this and that, but there was nothing there. You know, so.
Old habits?
All habits die hard, you know, and I got back into it, you know?
Yeah. So back in 2008, you tried to do the good thing and
for like the first few days, for like 1, 2, 3 days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
After the 4th day, I'm already in the hood, you know what I mean? I'm already like...
Yeah, so let's take it back to that. So you get out. Is it already in your mind that I'm going to get back to my old ways, and then there's the other shoulder who's like, we got to fix it, and you're just battling within?
It's like 90-10. For me, it was like 90-10 because, like, I see myself as a sacrifice for my neighborhood. You know what I mean? As a human sacrifice. You know what? We're a small neighborhood. We don't really have a name. Yeah, the OGs, they put it down, but we're dying out. We had a bad batch of homies that gave us a bad name. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put it down until we have a good name. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if that means my life, then that means my life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was my belief system back then, you know? So at the same time, I was like, well, I can't do nothing without money. You know what I mean? If I start robbing people, this, and that, I'm not going to be able to get ahead, you know? So at first, the first 1, 2, 3 days, I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to get a job. And then when I couldn't, then I'll just be on the streets, you know?
Yeah, and it seems like that's an easier cycle to fit in instead of, turning things around.
Nothing's easy, you know, nothing's easy, but at the same time, you know, it's like, it's what you know, you know what I mean? It's what's normal to you.
Yeah.
So
when did you feel your mentality finally change?
When I was in county jail, I was facing 2 life sentences, right? And then I was there for extortion and a bunch of other charges, you know what I mean? And when I was there, I seen like everything change, you know, like there's no loyalty, you know what I mean? There's no honor, you know what I mean? And I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna write it out, but if I do get out from this one, you know what I mean, I'm gonna try to change my ways.
Yeah.
So I had it in my mind, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna do everything I have to do to stay solid and stay strong with my belief system. But if I do get out, I'm gonna try to make it, you know, make it to go legit.
Got you. Now, when somebody does try to make it legit, is that looked down upon from the neighborhood?
Well, it's 50-50, you know what I mean? Because you're always like, just because you're trying to go good, right? That's not going to make your enemies disappear.
Yeah.
You know, and I was always pushing a lot of issues in the hood, you know, and I was always one of those guys that wants to be involved in everything, you know what I mean? Like, if you're no good, I don't like you, and you're going to know about it, you know what I mean? So those enemies are still there. And not necessarily that they're no good, you know what I mean? But whatever strife you had with people is still there. So now you're battling with yourself, first and foremost, because you've known this. I've been involved in gangs since I was like 11 years old, you know what I mean? And I'm 34 right now. So this has been my belief system for so long that now that I try to change, I'm battling myself. Like, I'm like, I miss being on the streets. I miss that little rush. You know what I mean? Just doing crimes and all that. It feels good, you know? Like, that's just a rush you cannot compare to anything else that I've ever lived, you know? So I fight with myself every day, telling myself, you know what? The hood's right there. Just go over there, post up. Who cares if you get busted? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
then the self-control kicks in, and I'm trying to stay out, so I'm battling, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever think about it that you made that promise to yourself, and then if you ever do go back, that you're being disloyal to yourself?
I never really thought about it like that, but that makes sense. But I've never really thought about it like that. You know what I mean? If I go back, it's gonna be like on some self-defense type of issue. I'm not out there looking for people to hurt. I'm not out there looking for trouble. None of that. You know what I mean? I go to work and then I go home and that's it. You know what I mean? I kick it with my lady and that's it.
Yeah. Man, there's so many different factors into this because, like you said, it's not like if you were a drug addict and you finally get better and it's the same kind of battle every day as something, you're battling within. But now you have to worry about people that have beef with you from 94 or what have you, and going to Toppers and eating with your family and run into some of them. Like, you're right, man. That's a lot of pressure.
But you gotta survive, and as long as you stay positive, like all that just will level itself out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There's been a real positive movement in like I want to say like the gang culture. Like with like the Fools Gone Wild Instagram and stuff, and
shout out to Fools Gone Wild, Mr. Lil E.
Hell yeah, dude! Shout out to them. Like I was saying before.
Shout out to all the fools, though. You know what I mean? Because there's more. Fools Gone Wild, they're popping and everything. Yeah. That's the homies, but there's way more.
Is it called the Fool Community?
Though there's a bunch of them. You know what I mean? There's Modelo Hour, Corona Hour, the Down is Fool. You know what I mean?
I love it, man. And it's like this is our Oxnard culture, so we know it. But other people, they don't understand it if they're not from the area and they don't know how that lifestyle is or what have you. So it's kind of like. Just it's entertainment to them, but I like how it's putting off a message of like, yo, let's not take ourselves too seriously. You know what I mean?
I mean, it makes people happy, like it makes me happy. Yeah. I wake up in the morning and I look at them and I start laughing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then just to see a lane open up for that community, dude, that shit is awesome, man. I'd love to see that blow up, and I love to see like Fools Gone Wild. I saw like, AC Slater was in there. Like, how do you do that, bro? I heard the story. I think he worked at like a paint store or something and then just created the Instagram, but just focus your energy on one thing, and then now he's having like Slater on there. That's pretty big, dude.
He's popping. I mean, he's making money, he's popping, he's something to look forward to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I see your channel going the same way, man, because like the way that you tell a story on your channel, it's like you were there. It really makes me feel like I was there. And it's just, we were watching one earlier with the guys here, and we're just laughing, man, because the picture that you're painting inside is amazing.
And I appreciate that, and I feel like I went in when I was a teenager, you know what I mean, to prison, and then like I've had so many Sallies, and every time you have a Sally, like there's nothing to know. The time is stagnant, you know what I mean? So you can't do nothing right there but either read or talk to your Sally, So I talked to so many people in there, you know what I mean, that I pretty much mastered my craft, So
hell yeah, man. So let's get into it a little bit. You said
can you turn it cold a little bit more?
Yeah.
It's getting kind of hot.
Give me 1 sec, brother. Let me write about this guy. 1740.
Shout out to all the sick ass fools out there.
Hell yeah. If you need to go down a little more, just let me know.
No, you went up, right? Oh, it went down, to get cold.
You wanted more colder?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that was the max.
Oh, that was the max?
Yeah.
Oh, we good.
You're getting into the stories, that's why.
Yeah. I started sweating. I was like, oh, man.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and jump into it. You said that you've been gang banging since 11 years old?
Well, I started flirting with gangs when I was like 10, 11 years old. You know what I mean? I started, I claimed this hood, whatnot. I grew up and I was living at a place called, it's a subsection of Oxnard, right? It's called Nyland Acres.
Okay.
And El Rio owns that, you know what I mean? That's like the backyard of El Rio, So everything's El Rio right there, And I grew up with all the homies right there. I was living with all the homies right there, like interacting with all the homies. And that's all I knew, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know nothing outside of El Rio, you know what I mean? which was 9 acres at the time for me, you know.
Gotcha.
And as time went on, I moved to Oxnard, you know. That was just a crazy long ass story. I'm not even gonna get into, you know. And when I became a teenager, I went to prison, and pretty much I was in there till I was 32. You know, I got out a few times, but for no longer than 2 months.
Oh, wow.
I got out like 4 or 5 times, right? But no longer than 2 months. And this last time I was out, it was 81 days.
Wow. So that was from the age 32 to what?
Teenager. You mean?
Teenager. Okay. Got you, man. Oh, wow. So, man, that's a big chunk of your life.
That's a big chunk.
Right there. So, 11 years old, you're growing up in 9 Acres, which is a part of El Rio. When you were out hanging out with these guys, did you have anybody at home that was telling you that wasn't the right thing to do?
Of course. You know, my family's Mexican. They don't like cholos. They don't like the culture. They don't like none of that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it was like all I seen was homies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was influenced by corridos, so it kind of fell into that. That was like the closest to it, you know?
Yeah, got you. Okay, so what was it that you were missing that the other people provided to you? Like, what was that feeling inside of you that was missing that you got from, you know, being around other gangbangers?
Well, personally, like I hear this a lot, right? There's always somebody saying that they're missing something, you know what I mean? To me, it was like I wasn't missing anything, you know what I mean? Because I have both my parents. Yeah. I had a loving home. I've never needed anything, you know what I mean? But I always wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah.
And that was just, I guess that's the feeling I was looking for, you know?
Yeah. What was it that really attracted you to the lifestyle?
Like I said, I was influenced by corridos. Corridos are very violent, you know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a chingon. I wanted to be a down-ass fool, you know?
Yeah. So at what age do you feel like you were deep into it already?
Like 15, 16.
15. Okay, cool. At this time, where were you going to school at?
Continuation. Like, I'm from El Rio gang, right? So in Oxnard, like, all around us is pretty much controlled at that time. I don't really know how it is right now, you know what I mean? But at the time, it was controlled by the Colonia Chicas gang. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
The only school they didn't go to was Wainimi High School, but I got kicked out. So everywhere else I tried to go, they were there. So it wasn't like they're just going to let you kick it, you know what I mean? Because you're going to be the only one there.
Yeah.
They already kicked out everybody else, you know what I mean? So they're not going to let you kick it.
Shit, so you went to Wainimi. How long were you at Wainimi for?
Like 3 months.
Oh, shit, okay. Yeah, that's where I graduated from.
Did you?
Wainimi.
What year?
Yeah, 03.
03?
Yeah.
Oh, we were there together.
Yeah, probably.
I was there in 2001.
Oh, shit. 2001 was the year, so yeah, I was probably a sophomore then.
Were you there when they shot that kid?
Yeah.
Okay, we were going together then.
Okay, you were there?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What grade were you in?
I was a freshman.
Okay, so I was a sophomore then. Man, that was crazy, dude.
My cousin was there too. Actually, we came out on that yearbook. Abel Rosas, I don't know if you remember him. He was a football player.
Probably if I see him, bro. You know, it's been such a long time. I try to get that memories out of my mind, dude. I was a loner in high school.
I mean, it's all good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're all a loner in some type of way.
In some way, huh? Got you, man. So you're living this lifestyle about 15 years old. Was there anything in your mind that made you think like, man, I probably shouldn't be doing this? Or was it just like full send?
Well, like, people don't understand. Like, I'm pretty sure it could always get worse. You know what I mean? But I was going through some pretty rough stuff. You know what I mean? I was living in an area controlled by the enemies. You know what I mean? I seen them. They were doing like hardcore crimes. So as a little kid, I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? I was scared. You know, I was like, damn, those fools are crazy. You know, like, damn, if they catch me, they're going to try to kill me, you know? And then I started going to junior high. My family pressured me to stop gangbanging, you know what I mean? Stop claiming the gang or whatnot, you know what I mean? So for like about a year I did, you know? But then I was like, that's not going to be me, you know? Like, that's just not me, you know what I mean? I'm tired of this, you know? So I went to school one day. I remember it was like summer school starting like 8th grade, you know, and I just told everybody, you know, I'm from a Rio gang and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You know what I mean? So that started like a crazy trajectory, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn. So then when you started getting deeper into the gang life, did you feel yourself getting disconnected from your family?
Well, that's always gonna be the case, you know. That's always gonna be the case because I started going to juvenile halls and I started like hanging out with my homeboys a little bit more. You know what I mean? And once you start kicking it with the homies, the people that I was kicking it with, they were pretty bad people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not in that sense, you know, but they were pretty hardcore criminals, you know. So
Shit, man. Man, it sounds like it would be so hard to get somebody out of that lifestyle, especially in the peak of their teenage life. And, you know, just being, I could totally understand how that would feel. Probably the closest thing that I could say is like street racing, you know, because I'm a car guy and street racing is just the adrenaline. But man, I don't even think that it would have that much consequences as going down that life, you know?
yeah, for me it was more like like, to be honest, like they were trying to victimize me. You know what I mean? So I was getting a little bit older, you know, and as they were trying to victimize me, I was just like, you know, I'm not gonna be a victim. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make them fools a victim, you know. So I remember this one time, right? Because like in junior high, I was pretty big for my age. You know what I mean? So like the kids right there, they weren't really tripping, but they were tripping because I was from a rival gang. You know what I mean? So after school, their brothers, their cousins, their homeboys. Like fools in high school, to me they were big, to me they were old, you know. So they would come, they would chase me with weapons, like they would actually try to hurt me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And there was this one time, you know, where I seen these two kids, right? So I walked up to them like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like I knew them from school, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get down with this fools right now. But then from behind the church right here on C Street, some fools started running towards me with weapons. So me and my homeboy run, right? But there was another gang member from Surtown right there. And he kind of backed us up, you know what I mean? And that was the first time that I've ever seen, like, damn, those fools, they're not always going to win, you know? And I want to be like that homeboy right there to make them fools back up, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Why do you think that he backed you guys up? He just had that same hate for them that you did? Or
it was just the gang geographics, you know what I mean? Like, the rivalry, all that.
Yeah. Now, how about if you're around somebody that isn't part of that life at that age? Would you guys just leave them alone, or was it anybody could get it?
Well, there is no telling, right? There's no guideline that tells you what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if you're not from nowhere, you're not from nowhere. But if there's a kid that's a gang member, right? Mm-hmm. And he's only like, what, 12, 13, 14, right? And he wants to rob you, like, you're not off limits. You know what I mean? But, like, anything could happen to anyone. You know what I mean? But pretty much if you're not from nowhere, if you're not from a barrio, they're not going to really trip.
Yeah.
Or unless they're going to try to rob you or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's always what the way that I've just maneuvered. You know, I never really got into any problems because I guess I just never put myself in that situation, you know. And the closest would be if we would go to house parties or things like that, but you could kind of tell the tension and the area when you're not supposed to be somewhere, who you're supposed to talk to, who not. So yeah, I just basically stood to myself and, you know, went looking for girls.
Well, you survive, you know, so that's what matters. You have a business now, so that's what matters, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Did you ever think about anything like that when you were younger, about starting a business or?
Not really. I just wanted to be a down-ass gang member. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was like the only thing. I couldn't think further than that. You know what I mean? Like that was like as far as I could think. You know?
Yeah. Was there people that you actually looked up to at a younger age and said, like, this is who I want to be like when I get older?
Well, I mean, there was some pretty hardened criminals, you know what I mean? Like, no disrespect because it's my homeboy, he's already rest in peace, you know, but he was like, everybody knew him. He was pretty crazy, you know? So I was like, damn, that was crazy. I don't think I could ever be like that because he's just too crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And those were like role models in a sense, you know? Because I didn't really get to know him. I got to know him like a little bit, you know what I mean? But not that much.
Yeah, man. So what all day did your days really consist of? Did you have any other hobbies or anything else that you did? Or?
I never did anything else.
Just
being a gang member.
Just being a gang member. I feel you, man. So what about your time when you first got locked up? What did that do to you?
Actually, the first time I got busted, it was in juvenile halls, right? So And I mean, I say it now, like I would never admit it before, but I was kind of like a little bit afraid, if that's the word, like, damn, the halls. Like I was thinking like it was gonna be like an American Me movie, you know what I mean? Like I was like picturing these buildings, you know what I mean? Like a lot of tears. And then I get there and it was just like a little warehouse, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of kids, So I'm like, oh, I could take care of this. You know what I mean? Like this is nothing. Don't even trip on this,
Yeah.
And back then the culture was like you gotta fight your enemies, you know what I mean? So we're all fighting right there.
So the more time that you spent away locked up, did you notice that your mentality was changing?
You have to evolve. It's all about evolution, you know what I mean? You start hanging out with people that are really doing big crimes. They're already there fighting a lot of time, you know what I mean? And you kick it with them in there every day, you're going to learn something from them.
Yeah.
So you evolve, you know what I mean? Then you get down, you're worse every time. You go in, you come out worse. You go in, you come out worse.
Shit, man. So that's got to be just like a college for crime, right?
You know what? Like, it doesn't really help you, I understand, like, if I do something, punish me, you know what I mean? But if the kid's not really doing nothing, he's not really committing crimes, like hardcore crimes, like, don't put him in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's just gonna...
So what do you think helps? What do you think would be a better solution?
Well, you need to help yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kids, they're not gonna listen. You know what I mean? Like, they need to help themselves. But aside from that, like, if they had programs, after school programs, like, just sports, stuff like that, I think would help,
Yeah.
It will deviate them a little bit.
Yeah, because, like, I've heard so many stories about, the parents came from Mexico and they're too busy at work to see what their kids are doing with their free time or what have you. So then I could see that as being... okay, there's a reason you could fix it. But then, like you said, I just wanted to do it just because. Like, how do you tap into that?
I mean, you have to be responsible for what you do. You can't be blaming your parents for what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, you have a choice. I've seen families with 5, 6 gang members. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the kids is good. So what are you going to say about that?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be responsible. You know what I mean? You have to take responsibility for what you do.
Yeah. But you have to want to. You have to. Oh man, this is. It's definitely hard, man. It's definitely hard to. I mean, just from the outside looking in, I don't know how I would even deal with that. Especially everybody that you know, the place that you live, everybody's involved with that. That's got to be a hard thing to get out of.
It's just like this, like I'm different than you. You're different than the next person. The next person's different than the next person, and it's just that's just what it is. It's never gonna be. Everybody's gonna be the same.
Yeah. So when you would get out on these, few month spurts that you would be out, what is your mentality when you're out? Like, I'm just gonna keep going until they catch me again?
Hell yeah.
So you already knew in your head that,
like, I knew in my head, like, I didn't care no more. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to prison. I already been to a level 3 yard. Like, I didn't care no more.
Yeah.
Like my first violation, I got busted with a shotgun and then a bunch of shells, dope. And back then we had a year violations, so it eats up the charge. So, for example, you get busted with a gun, you get a year violation, right? You do the year, you come back, you want to go to trial. The DA is going to be like, he has time served. We're going to waste all this time. And this guy already has time served. He's just making us waste the money. Just drop it.
Got you. So going in and out so many times, did you kind of understand the flaws that the system had and ways to work it in your favor?
Well, from what I've seen, like a lot of things change, right? A lot of things change. But as far as the flaws, like, there's going to be flaws in everything,
Yeah. So what about the other side of things? Like, the police department side of things. Was there never any cops or anything like that understood the lifestyle and understood the pressures that you guys went through and try to be like the good cop?
There's good people in every field. Every walk of life, there's good people. I mean, I met a lot of good cops, but I also met, like, the majority of them are pretty much pricks, They're programmed into, like, attacking you, what I mean? They see you, they want to bust you because you're trash to them.
Yeah.
And that's just the way they're programmed. I can't blame them, But at the same time, that's why we don't like them.
Even though you understand why they have that idea.
I'm gonna give you an example, right? Like I paroled from prison, right? And when I was in prison, like unfortunately there was war in there. I'm not gonna get into that, right? But we were on lockdown. We couldn't go out, so I was studying for my GED. I didn't have my GED, right? So I was ready. I come out, I go sign up, right? My homeboy gives me a ride. He's also on parole, right? So I get pulled over with them, and I show the cops, look, this is my books. I'm gonna go take the test. Like, I have to pay. Look, this is the receipt. And I told them straight up, like, look, go search the car. I know you guys are gonna do it regardless. If you don't find no weapons or any gang paraphernalia, let us go and let me get my GED, you know? But they didn't do it. They said, no, you're hanging out with the gang members, so we got to take you back for a year.
So you ended up going back for a year?
For a year. Just for trying to, like, I mean, I understand. I was wrong for going with the homeboy, but in all reality, I'm trying to do something positive.
Fuck, man. That's a fucked up one, dude. But, I mean, you do understand that was
that was my fault, but it's like, it was either walk away or get a ride, you know? Like, what's she gonna do?
Yeah. Did you know at that time that you were putting yourself in a risk?
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was happy. I was my homeboy. We did our time together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. And I mean, it's the same thing with the car community. It's not as vicious, but it's like, yo, I know all the stuff that we do to the cars isn't legal. I know that racing and, you know, fast stuff under is not legal, but I mean, yeah, there's the Russian to do. You know what you're doing, and damn, that's crazy, bro. So what about like nowadays? Say you were to get pulled over, what's going through your head?
Well, look, I'm not gonna get into it because it's a long ass story, right? But I pretty much became one of the main targets for the cops. I burned myself out so much that they pretty much see me and they want to just pull me over just because it's me. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to make myself sound like anything because I'm not. I ain't nobody. But to them, I'm a target.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everywhere they see me, especially the sheriffs, Oxnard PD, they changed a lot. They've changed a lot. You know what I mean? Ever since all those shootings they did in 2012, all that, the lawsuits, all that. Their department's different now. Before that, yeah, they were pricks.
Gotcha.
But now it's just the sheriffs. You know, they're just on a sick one trying to get you. You know what I mean? They don't care what you're doing. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Like, I do a little bit of music, right? And I'm recording a music video.
Yeah.
I'm filming a music video. I'm right there with a few homies. I'm walking around the park. We're doing it at a park, right? And the cops, I don't know how they found out that we were there, but they have us under surveillance. They're filming us film a video, you know, and like I was working, I had a job, everything, and they got me after work. You know what I mean? So that's just going out of your way to go get somebody. You know what I mean? Like for a music video, come on.
Yeah. Now, what about, I see you have the tattoo on your face. Do you ever get profiled because of that, just straight off the bat?
To me, I feel like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I told you, I burned myself out. So it doesn't matter if my face all tattoo or has no tattoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be the same result.
Yeah. I guess the best thing that you could do is just change behavior, and that's what it seems like you're doing right now.
Well, that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. You know, it's like it's funny because people like the coronavirus kicked in, right? And people start like, oh, we're quarantined and all that, you know. But I've been quarantined for like 2 years, so going on 3 years, you know. Like I just stay home, you know. I work, stay home. Periodically, I'll kick it with the homies, you know what I mean? But just not all the homies. Like I'm not trying to like, in my mind, like and this was what I was doing wrong, right? Like I'll get out and I'll try to meet all the new homies. And you start kicking it with them and you start all over because they're young and they're new, you know? So you're starting all over with them, you know what I mean? So now I'll give them their respects, but I'm not trying to kick it with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to kick it with people I already know and people that have been my friends. And that's that, you know?
So how much longer do you have until you're off probation?
I'm on parole.
Or parole, excuse me.
I got 6 months.
6 months, bro. Wow. How does that feel?
It feels great, you know, but it just feels unreal.
Yeah. And that's been for the last 15 years? Wow, man. Congratulations,
Oh,
bro.
thank you.
You know, 6 months is going to fly by quick.
I'm just trying to stay low.
I mean, maybe not for you, but...
Well, I'm working, bro, so it doesn't really, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, so what do you have planned for the 6 months?
Well, for the 6 months, I'm just gonna work.
Like after,
you know?
after,
after I want to travel. I haven't been to Mexico ever since. I have family over there. You know what I mean? I have friends in Spain. Like, I just want to travel. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where. I just
Yeah.
want to get out of here. I can't even leave Ventura County because I'm on GPS. You know?
Oh, shit. So it's that... What's the mile radius? Or
Just Ventura County.
just Ventura County? Damn, man. Have you ever traveled anywhere in your life? Like outside of maybe California? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Mexico before I got into the system.
Yeah.
I've been to Mexico and that's it, you know?
Yeah. Got you. Oh my God, man. I mean, right now, it would probably be the best time to travel because tickets are cheap.
Straight up, you know, but unfortunately, you know, I'm still stuck in the situation, you know, but we already talked about everything that I wanted to talk about, and now I feel like is the right opportunity, you know. I don't know how many people are gonna hear this podcast one night, you know what I mean? But if anybody has a business, right, and wants to hire felons, let me know. I'll promote that.
Got you. Okay. So let's talk about that. When you get out, do they just make it so hard for you to get a job?
It's hard to get a job. It's hard. If you know a parolee and they don't have a job, it's very, very hard. First off, you get out, you don't have an ID. So you got to wait those 30 days to get an ID.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
got you.
Second of all, you don't have no experience. If you're like me, I went in there as a teenager, you know what I mean? So I don't have no experience. So they want a resume. They want a bunch of jobs. They want all kinds of,
Yeah.
you know, they want people to vouch for you. They want all that.
Yeah.
And you don't have none of that. So the best thing to do is either go with a family member that's going to help you or just go on Craigslist
Yeah.
and get little jobs for a day or two until you build a resume or some experience.
Damn. Feels like the cards get stacked against you.
All the way live, you know, that's like once you're in the system, if you don't have a support system once you get out, you're through. That's why people keep on going back, you know.
So what would your recommendation be for somebody that's getting out and you know, they're kind of in the train of thought still where I don't care, I've been there already. If I go back, I go back.
Well, if they want to go back, that's on them. But I'm saying, like, for people that want to work, for people that want to change, for people that want to succeed, they're the ones that should be afforded a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if the homie doesn't care, why should I?
Yeah.
No disrespect to the homies that are paroling or whatnot, you know what I mean? But if they don't care, why should I?
You know what? That logic works for a lot of things, you know, and I try myself to not go towards that logic, but it's the one that makes the most sense. How am I going to help somebody out if they don't want to help themselves
Straight
out?
up.
You know, and it's just, well, they're going through this and they're going, yeah, but if they don't even care, why? How am I going to care?
They got to make an effort, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people in prison, jails, whatnot. They want to get out and they want to get out of their lifestyle. They want to work. They want to have things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that. But they get out and they get everything like swallowed up, you know?
Yeah.
So they get boxed in. They can't do nothing and they go back to what they know.
Yeah. So let's talk about your music. Are you still dabbling in music?
Well, you know what? Like, my music was like pretty much as a hobby, you know what I mean? I never really got far, you know, and pretty much right now I don't really care about it no more, you know? Like, I got a few albums out there, I got a few videos out there, and with that being said, like, I'm not even trying to do more or anything like that, you know? But it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Got you. What are some of the things that you're into now?
Well, now I'm just trying to get off parole.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the only thing I'm into, you know?
Yeah. Now, let's go ahead and talk about your Instagram channel. It's Sin for Sin, correct?
Sin for Sin.
_4_sin.
It's sin.for.sin.
Got you. Okay, so what was your motivation for starting that?
Well, I've been had it since I was in prison. You know, like I'll call my family members. They'll make a post for me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'll call them from a collect call, and then I'll be like, oh, well, say this or say that. You know, try to look for this person or that. You know, so I already had it, got out, and then I just kept it, and I started growing. You know.
Yeah. So did you make a conscious decision? Okay, I'm gonna start doing short videos, or was it just one and then it caught?
Well, it's like this, right? Like I told you, I was fighting live in 2012, right? I left in 2015. It was a couple years, you know. So with my Sallies, with the people that were there, we're in the dungeon, you know. So we're separated from everybody else in the county jail. It's only 16 cells, right? So we're there. Like I was there for a couple years with the same people, you know, and we talked about things like that. We talked about starting businesses. We talked about changing. We talked about being funny. We talked about making movies. We wrote books.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be surprised how smart people are, you know? And people think like, oh, they're locked up. They're no good, you know? But a lot of people, it's like you evolve in there and you're just like a hybrid, you know? You just start thinking all kinds. And we used to do everything I do on Instagram now, I did it in jail. You know what I mean? Like, all that funny stuff, like I used to make my Sallies laugh and the homies on the tier, you know, and it's always been me, you know. I like people being happy.
Yeah. So that's your focus for this, is just to tell these stories and try to entertain people?
My focus with this is, like I said, to try to appeal to people that have businesses. You know what I mean? That's the focus. That's the objective. You know what I mean? But if I'm gonna do it by making people laugh, then that's the way I'm gonna get them, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Do you ever think it'll get to the point where you start your own business and then you'll be able to bring people in?
Well, that's the main objective, you know. But in order to do that, I first have to like learn something.
Yeah. So did it take you a while to figure out all this stuff, like the YouTube or things like that?
Everything's hard because I don't know nothing about technology, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I do everything on the phone. And luckily for me, the audience, they don't trip, you know. But I tell them straight up, like, look, I don't know nothing about technology. This is what you're going to get. If you don't like it, with all due respect, then go to another channel. That's fine, you know. But they support it.
Yeah. Now, when things were changing so much on the outside, did you get word of that on the inside? Like even saying cell phones, you know, like iPhones, you know?
Like I didn't really pay attention because I was in there, you know. That's like it's like a whole nother world in there. So you're just detached. Like after, like, people are gonna write to you for a year or two, you know, or people are gonna write to you when you first start getting busted.
Yeah.
I had already been in the system for 10, 15 years, you know. So people get tired.
Yeah.
People start writing, like they start replying, and it just goes like that, you know. You just get stuck into what's going on in there, you know, and you just forget about everything else. Except for your family, you know, they're always gonna be there.
Yeah. But did that show you that, you know, the people on the outside, they weren't really your friends, or did you just think of it as, you know, they're busy, I'm busy?
It's just part of the lifestyle. It's just normal, you know. That's the norm. That's what people do, you know. Like,
yeah,
there's no such thing as people being there the whole time, you know.
Yeah. I feel you, man. It's definitely an interesting lifestyle for sure. And always from the outside looking in, I always just wondered, like, why did these kids go down this path? You know, because I mean, realistically speaking, there's a big chunk of your life that went towards that. Do you ever feel like that you wish you would have taken a different route?
Well, to wish I would have taken a different route would be like to wish I didn't live.
Yeah.
Because even though I was going through all that, it was a life experience, you know?
That's a good point.
And I wouldn't be thinking the way I'm thinking right now if I didn't go through that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you on that, man. And it's just sometimes you wish you didn't have to go through those lessons, but even if you did, you still get something out of it at the end.
You're going to get something, all right.
Yeah, for sure, man. Damn, bro, I wish you the best, brother.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I said before, you're a very entertaining storyteller. And if there's anything else that we could help you with, like if you need help with videos or if you have an idea or anything like that, just let me know, because you do have something, man. And if like you were saying earlier, if you make it a consistent kind of thing, and you end up call it a show or something, name it something, every Tuesdays at 6 or what have you, and then just make it a thing for yourself. Every Tuesday I'm gonna upload or something like that, or just flood it with content, because this realism is so attractive right now, because we've been fed so much bullshit ever since social media started. People understood that, I could be a different person online than I am in the real life. I could be whatever. I can have fake cars. I can have this. But it's getting to this point where it's like, man, everything is so fake. I don't even give a shit about that stuff no more. Give me somebody who's real. It doesn't matter if it's filmed on an iPhone or if it's filmed with a camera. Give me something real. People are loving that shit right now. So this is like the perfect time for a channel like yours.
I appreciate it, and if in any way you could help, and as far as with the videos and all, that would be great.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. If there's anything that you've been trying to do or anything like that, the line of communication is open, because I really support the message that you're putting out there, and I hope that a lot of people, younger kids in Oxford, don't have to go through those struggles that you went through. I hope that they realize that there's something on the other end.
Yeah, well, the times are changing. Everything. It's all about evolution, like I told you. And gangs are not what they used to be.
Yeah,
they're not as violent. Yeah, there's violent people in them, one or two.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
But there's not as many people going out there trying to kill people, trying to shoot people, trying to stab people. You know what I mean? Like now it's more like take a picture, and with the homies and put it on Instagram and we're down,
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, no disrespect to the ones that are gunners.
Definitely.
Because every generation is going to have killers, you know what I mean? But that's what I see.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, like I said, I love your message, man. Anything that we could help, just let me know. But if somebody wants to check out your channel or follow you on Instagram, where can they do that at?
Follow me on Instagram. Yeah. Instagram is going to be Sin for Sin.
I'll have it listed below too, guys.
SIN .FOR.SIN. And then on YouTube, it's a different platform, so I have a different name. You know what I mean? It's Cholo Juan.
Cholo Juan. Okay, cool. And where do you see your most growth coming out of? Is it Instagram or is it YouTube?
YouTube.
Yeah, I bet, dude. Which is so crazy, because that's like the hardest platform to get popping on, man.
It's working for me.
Hell yeah, dude. Telling you, bro, people are loving this real content, whatever it is.
But with me, it's gonna be different, because right now I'm on parole, so I'm limited.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Everything you see right now that I'm doing, I'm on parole.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it while I'm on parole. When I get off, I could actually do like hood blogs. So I'm gonna be right there with the homies.
Yeah.
Chilling, like showing people real life stuff, Not no negativity, but just stuff that we do. Like the homies gonna tattoo somebody, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. They're gonna see it and they're gonna be like, damn, we never seen this, We're not gonna expose secrets or nothing like that we don't supposed to be showing, you know what I mean? But I feel like my channel's gonna pretty much grow from there on.
Yeah, I love it, man. And I love that we got you in here earlier, bro, because I know that's gonna blow for sure.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no problem. So before we get out of here, you got any shout outs for anybody or anything?
Just to all the sick ass fools out there, you know what I mean? To everybody supporting my channels, to everybody supporting my Instagram, and to everybody supporting you know what I mean?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. You know what? I wish you the best, bro. I hope these 6 months go by as fast as they can. And I look forward to seeing what you create out there, brother.
Thank you, bro. Have a good one.
Hey, thank you, bro. So thank you guys for listening. Big shout out to Maniac. Make sure you guys check him out on Instagram. We'll have it listed below. This is Downtime with Downstar, episode 209, and we're out. Peace.
209.